All right, welcome to my presentation on the future of software engineering, 5, 10, and 50 years. So first off, why is software engineering even important to our lives? Software engineering is a burgeoning part of our society. We need everything in our lives is dictated by technology, stuff like our calendars, our communication, the stuff like how we communicate with people such as like phone, email, they're all dependent on technology, and these things need software engineers. Even entertainment and even work, especially in COVID-19, where we're all just on a virtual environment, is all dependent on technology. And if this technology fails, it'll be a big hit to society, and it'll be very hard to adjust what we're doing currently. So what will software engineering look like in 5 years? And as the software engineering space matures, we're always trying to look for ways to improve how we develop our products. And I think much of the industry will be switching over to agile. And according to Tech Beacon, the vast majority of organizations surveyed reported that they primarily use agile methods. And there's data to support that that the success rate of projects in agile is much more compared to waterfall. Of course, there's still a big failure rate in agile, and that's a problem. And in future years, there'll probably be some more development on agile or new methodology that will appear to replace it. So what will the software team composition look like in 5 years? So during these current events, COVID-19 forced everybody to adapt to a virtual environment. We had to, for our own safety, we had to keep away from other people. And many technologies such as Zoom, Skype, Discord, WebEx, and Slack has made video calling and instant messaging so much easier. And so much easier to the point that, you know, companies and other people started to realize that much of the work can just be done virtually. You can do meetings virtually, you can do code reviews virtually, and there's even a feature on Zoom where you can take your mouse and you'll be able to control another person's screen. You can even um, use your own keyboard and type on their screen. So, what will software's impact on society and planet look like in 5 years? You know, with the development of new technologies, lately I've been to Costco and I saw that they were selling like smart refrigerators and is running on Android. You know, with all this technology out there and platforms, it will increase the need of software engineers on people's teams and companies. So you see like all these platforms, especially because of the amount of platforms out there, there will be more of a need for software engineers in the space. So what will software look like in 5 years? So there's already very, very big products that are such as like Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram on the App Store, right? And if you look on the top 50 on the App Store, there's there's YouTube, there's TikTok, there's Facebook, and if you keep on scrolling down, it will only be big name companies. So a great way to break into the market is to make an app that will benefit, that will not directly compete with these big products, but actually build on top of it. So a good example of this would be something like Patreon, and Patreon is kind of like a paid subscription service to your favorite content creators. And this was built because content creators needed a way to gain revenue, right? And with the increase in ad blocker, they needed another way other than ads on YouTube. So Patreon came out. It was a great way for people to contribute directly to the content creators that they love. And it used to be the case that you could just build something on the App Store and there's a chance that it could just go on to the number one on the App Store. If you made it a game, it could go number one back in the day because the space was not as mature as it is now. There's so many well-made products now, and then everybody's use cases is different now. All right, so what will software engineering look like in 10 years then, rather than 5 years? There will probably be a lot more new technologies that make projects much easier to work with, and some examples of this are like the no-code development movement. So there's companies such as No Code Dev, MakerPad, and No Code, and platforms like these allows people to develop their web service or application and launch it completely front to end without the need for coding or programming skills. And this is like amazing technology. You don't need to know any coding skills to launch a product, to have an online presence, and that's pretty amazing. And, there's bound if this technology catches on and gets more popular, and people realize that they don't need developers to get their product running, then there would be a huge disruption in the industry because of this. So what will software teams and composition looks like in 10 years? So I think much of the industry is going to shift over to a virtual work environment. And I think it's just natural is that people the people if people don't see the need to come into an office every day, why would you? You know, there's technologies like Zoom that is just amazing and are well developed, and you'll be able to work from home with no problem. And what's great about this is that so first you don't workers can work at their own pace. They can work at home in an environment that they like. And the companies also save money from this. So they always had to, pay for the office building. They had to pay rent. They had to pay for office space. They had to pay for the equipment and the supplies and the utilities to support the employees while they're there. But if employees are just self-sufficient, the companies will save money. And overall, I think the ecosystem would love a virtual environment, or at least a mix of the virtual environment and the in-person work. All right, so what will software engineering look like in 50 years? So I think software engineering will come leaps and bounds from what it is now. You know, software engineering is still a very new field, and a lot of companies still haven't picked it up. There's stories about when Amazon was a startup. Um, Jeff Bezos was trying to get investments from companies like Macy's, but he couldn't find that investment because they didn't have like they couldn't see the future where technology would be the core of everything. So as companies like Google, Facebook, Amazon rise up, and Apple, more business, it's becoming obvious that technology will have its foundation in many of these companies, or else they wouldn't survive. How could you compete with these big tech companies when you don't have that tech yourself? You don't have that skill, and many people are relying more on technology these days. So what will a software team and composition organization look in 50 years? I think that there will always be a need for a team to develop products. There's just so much that goes into developing a product, and it's hard for a single individual just to make something that's scalable and like has a high quality on it. But software engineering is always a changing field, right? So movements such as no code may render like normal software engineering useless, but developers can still exist. They're either doing no code, but they're developing products that add features into products such as no code. And you'll always still need those software engineers to put functionality into no code, because no code the for no code to run, you need software engineers to actually code that code. So what will software bugs look like in 50 years? I think most software bugs will be automated out. Even today, this IDE, IDEs are getting really good at solving like common errors like bugs. And according to a paper from IEEE, like many machine learning models and artificial technologies have been developed to build like smart applications, and IDEs are no exceptions to that. I think finally, the society and the planet will eventually evolve into more electric cars, more AI, and just more emphasis on technology. As long as it benefits us in some way and is more efficient, more clean, I think it will come eventually. And software is going to be tech driven in the future. And I think Amazon and their emphasis on building tech focused things are already showing like are reaping the benefits of that. Thank you.